Falcons fans need to start learning the name Mike Green, the edge rusher out of Marshall. Welcome on into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. We're going to talk about this draft prospect for the Dirty Birds because, well, you guys were asking for us, simply put. We talked about him briefly a few days ago, and I was like, let me know if you guys want a more in-depth episode on Green, and the comment section was flooded with an overwhelming yes. So let's get to know the guy who led college football in sacks in 2024, along with finishing second in tackles for loss, because he might be the name that you hear on draft night with the 15th overall pick. Some background information on Green. He's 6'4", 248 pounds. Not an ideal size. It's not a deal breaker for me. I'm looking for football players, not track stars, but GMs and scouts sometimes can be attached or married to an ideal height and weight for a certain position. And sub 250 for an edge rusher going up against 300-pound offensive tackles is going to be a little concerning for some teams. But the production is there. And more often than not, whenever we look back at drafts and you look at some players like Julian Edelman and guys that fall way late in the draft, it's usually because they went to a smaller school and they weren't the most physically gifted players, so teams just crossed them off their list, but they outworked people and they were able to find a way. Now, he started his career at Virginia, transferred to Marshall. He only became a full-time starter in 2024, so he's a relatively new name. There's not a whole lot to go off of when it comes to making up his profile before this season. But this season was special. 84 tackles, 22 and a half tackles for loss, 17 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. I was made aware of him a week and a half ago, and I was starting to watch some of his highlights, and like, okay, well, highlights only show you the good, right? It's a highlight, so let's kind of find some of the bad as well and put it all together. And the more I watched, the more I kind of fell in love with Green as a prospect. For one, he wins with a variety of pass rush moves. Sometimes you see guys go out of college to the NFL, and they're a one-trick pony, right? Maybe they're super fast, they got great bend, and that's the way they get to the quarterback. And it's a great way, it's an effective way, but an offensive tackle in the NFL will do a whole lot of prep and research on who he's going up against to take away that guy's biggest strength. And if that one trick isn't working out for you, you're dead in the water. That's not an issue with Green. He can win in a multitude of ways. He can win with an incredible explosive first step where the offensive tackle is just playing catch up right from the start. He can win by just kind of like contorting his body and squeezing through between the tackle and the guard. And he can win with just power. Just, I'm going to push you back and I'm going to drive my way to the quarterback. He does all of that despite not being the most physically gifted specimen on the field. So I'm inclined to look at the production and go, he's found a way to do it. I know he's not an ideal 250 pounds, and maybe with a couple of years in the NFL, putting on some good weight, that 248 can turn into 255, 260, and he won't be pushed around so much. But I'm starting to really believe, like, I'm willing to give a chance to this player, even if he wasn't made in a lab. And even if he doesn't mean he'll be like the, defensive player of the year guy, that's fine. Picking 15th overall, I'm looking for someone that can give me 8 to 12 sacks routinely. And I think Green's got a good chance of doing that. Now, if you enjoy these style of videos, we're not done, by the way, but just let me know by liking the video. That way I can get some good positive feedback and just tailor-make videos to what you guys are desiring. So please let me know if you enjoy this video by hitting the thumbs up button down below. Now, the elephant in the room is he played at Marshall. Yeah, Petey, he had 17 sacks. He was also playing Sunbelt schools. He's going up against South Alabama, Louisiana Lafayette, South Alabama. I said that one, yeah. It's not going to be that easy when he goes up against real offensive line talent. Yes and no. And I'll expand on that in a moment. But I do have to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Basketball season is heating up, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your cash on Prize Picks. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Plus, they do a lot of fun things throughout the week, like, I don't know, they're putting Jaden Daniels' passing yards at 0.5. They're just giving you the freebie. Take the more on that, pair it with one more, and you're ready to roll. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. So as we were talking about, he played at Marshall, didn't play in the SEC, the Big Ten. Boo-hoo. Well, you know what? He did play a Big Ten and an ACC school twice this year, and he tormented their offensive lines. In 2 games against Virginia Tech and Ohio State. Yeah, that Ohio State. 7 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 9 pressures. So when he played the toughest schedule, or toughest part of the schedule, he came to play. I'm willing to believe that he can be a very good football player that just did not go to your traditional powerhouse school, because we've seen it play out multiple times before. I went back last 20 years. Here are 5 players, the only 5 players, drafted in round 1 that did not attend a Power 5 school. Hassan Reddick, I'd say, is having a pretty good career. Wouldn't you concur? I concur. Khalil Mack, the defensive player of the year, just a few short years into his career, future Hall of Famer, 5th overall, went to Buffalo. Jason Pierre-Paul, he's not whole, but 15th overall, right where Atlanta's picking, out of South Florida. Larry English is probably definitely the most disappointing of the bunch. He only played a couple of years for the Chargers, played like 1 season with the Bucks. And then Jason Babin, he's like an NBA player of the NFL. He played for half the league pretty much. I've never seen someone have such a long career and play with so many different teams. So there are 5 guys that were drafted in round 1 from group of 5 schools. 4 out of 5 made the Pro Bowl. Don't tell me it can't be done just because he didn't go and play at the SEC or the ACC or the Big Ten. Look how his college stats his last year go up against Reddick, Mack, JPP. Blows him out of the water. Now, I don't think college stats are completely, correlated to NFL success, but man, we saw how great Mack was, 5th overall pick. And look what Mike Green was doing his last year in Huntington, West Virginia. So Mike Green, one of my favorite movie quotes from Django Unchained, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention. I am definitely interested in Green as a prospect, a potential pick for Atlanta with number 15 overall. If you still don't really like Green, though, I don't know how you can come away from this video with that, feeling right now. Here are some backup options. I'm not saying that he is my number 1, preferred choice without a doubt. It's January. We have a long way to go until April. We'll see how the combine goes and free agency and whatnot, but Mel Kiper puts out his positional rankings, and here are the defensive ends, which I'm really I don't know how you put Stewart at 1. The guy had 1.5 sacks. He's supposed to be a pass rusher? No. I'd probably go Landon Jackson 1, then Scorton. Actually, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then outside linebacker rankings from Kiper, Carter 1 for sure. He's got Green at 3. Ahead of James Pierce from Tennessee. I'd probably go Carter 1. Kind of leaning Green 2, Pierce 3, Williams 4, and then big old Don from Boston College 5. I completely shafted the number 5 guy twice. But let me know who you want the Falcons to draft. Is it Green? Is it someone else? Let me know in the comment section below to wrap up today's video. Greatly appreciate all of you guys that take time out of your day to watch our content. If you enjoy it, make sure to subscribe as well if you haven't already. Plus, as you know, hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to let you guys get on with the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow with more coverage of your favorite team.